Good morning, y'all. And I have a story about how the left just showed it hates the United States military more and more, and they hate the United States, period. But before I get to the story, could you please subscribe? It will really help me out. Well, the New York Times just proved it hates the United States military, and Memorial Day, and just spit in the face of all um, African Americans, Latinos, Asians, and whatnot non-whites who served in the military. New York Times on Memorial Day weekend, U.S. military celebrates white supremacy. Yes, that's then ignoring all the most diverse organization in the United States. As America is reeling from coronavirus stay-at-home orders, struggle to celebrate the nation's heroes on Memorial Day, New York Times published an editorial over the weekend that claims U.S. military celebrates white supremacy. Fucking idiots. And if you're subscribe to the New York Times, you should drop it. Show them that we're not for this bullshit race baiting. On Sunday, New York Times editorial board published a piece titled "Why Does the U.S. Military Celebrate White Supremacy?" The editorial made the argument that it's time to rename military bases after American heroes, not racist traitors. Pentagon spokesman Jonathan Rath Hoffman tweeted Sunday night in response, "On a solemn day for remembering those that have given their lives for fighting our country fighting against tyranny and subjugation, the New York Times has more than a million, I'd probably say more than a billion stories if you really want to look, of the ultimate sacrifice by American patriots that could tell, but they don't." He followed up in a statement: "The Department of Defense is the most diverse meritocracy in the country and the most powerful force for good in the world history. We have many stories of valor still waiting to be told this Memorial Day weekend." Yes, we do. Ah, man, the New York Times gets idiots. And people like uh, the idiot that wrote this piece, I guess, race baiters. The New York Times editorial board wrote that the federal government embraces pillars of white supremacy movement when it named military bases in the South. The editorial lists Fort Benning, Georgia, as an example, noting that the military base honored Henry Louis Benning, a Confederate general who devoted himself to the premise that African Americans were not really human, they can never be trusted with full citizenship. The editorial pointed to Benning's now famous speech in 1861, during which he told a secessionist conventionalists in Virginia that his native state of Georgia has left the Union for one reason: to prevent the abolition of her slavery. The editorial board noted that Benning's statement strongly resembled that of present day white supremacists, and references the race war that put forward by young racists who murdered 9 African Americans in Charleston 5 years ago. In 2017, Dylan Wolfe, a former, was formerly sentenced to the death for the church massacre in Charleston, South Carolina, 2 years before. The editorial also pointed to another Georgia base named after Confederate General John Brown Gordon, writing that by naming the base after him, the federal government venerated a man who was a leader of the Georgia KKK after the Civil War and who may have taken on a broader role in terrorist organization when its first national leader and former Confederate General Nathan Bedford Forrest suffered declining health. But the New York Times never had anything bad to say about Byrd, a Democrat, who was an open member of the KKK. The New York Times editorial board referenced comments made by an Army spokesman who told the Time in 2015 there is no need to remove Confederate base names because the historical names represent individuals, not causes or ideologies. The editorial board then laid out the problems with the argument that writing that these men were traitors and that the names represent not only oppression before and during the Civil War but state-sponsored bigotry after it. Base is named for these four men who sought to destroy the Union in name of racial injustice or an insult to the ideas of servicemen and women who sworn to uphold and embracing the artifact of the time when military itself embraced the anti-American values. The editor continued, it's, it's long past for these bases to be renamed. Fuck you too, asshole. You're a fucking race baiting uh, idiot. And it just makes me mad that they're trying to use one of these Memorial Day as a way to race bait people. Why don't you let me know what you think down below about them? And if you still have a subscription to the New York Times. They're only doing this because they're going in the shithole like most papers. And if please, could you hit the like button and subscribe if you like my videos and my work? And always be good, have fun, stay safe. Bye bye.